Hello, is anyone listening? My name is Randa Jawhari, and if you're hearing this, it's because my story is being told for me. I've been silent for a very long time. I want you to know who I was before I became a mystery. I was born in Lebanon, a world away, but my family moved to Holly, Michigan when I was just a child. I was one of 10 siblings, a big, loud, close-knit family. That noise, that chaos, that was the sound of home. I chased my dreams across the country, living in Florida, Hawaii, and Nevada. I was an artist at heart. I wrote poetry and painted. The pages of my journal were filled with my words and my sketches. It was my soul poured onto paper. But my biggest dream was to be an actress. I loved the magic of becoming someone else. I was so proud when I got a small part in the movie True Lies. It wasn't a big role, but it was real. I was there, on set, part of that world. I loved it so much that I started teaching acting classes at the Rainbow Connection in Flint. I wanted to share that spark with others, but the most important role I ever had was being a mother. My daughter Madeline was my entire world. She was 7 years old, with a light that could outshine any Hollywood set. My life wasn't always easy, though. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and I had other health conditions that made some days feel like climbing a mountain. My mind could be a stormy place, but my family, they were my anchor in that storm. My sister, Diana, my brother Sam, my mother Anissa. I spoke to them constantly. My sister Nahida once said I'd call each and every one of them 8 times a day, and if they didn't answer, I'd leave a never-ending message. That was just me. I needed them, and I knew it. They were my safety net. In February of 2009, I was 42 years old, living in an apartment on Shiawassee Avenue in Fenton, Michigan. I didn't drive, so I relied on others for rides. In the months before I disappeared, my family learned that an associate, an unknown black male, had been driving me to my appointments. I was even seen with him at a dental appointment. He was described as clean-cut, maybe 30 to 35 years old, and he wore a long black leather jacket with silver chains around his neck. The police would later want to talk to him, to just rule him out. They never found him. The day I vanished started like any other. I spent time with my family. I was myself. But there was one thing that was out of the ordinary. I was reportedly seen panhandling just before I disappeared. I'm not proud of that, but it's a part of the story. I was struggling. That night, February 10th, 2009, I called my sister at 11:30 p.m. Our conversation was normal. I told her I was tired, that I was going to bed. "Good night," I said. Those were the last words anyone in my family ever heard me speak. What happened after I hung up the phone is the mystery that has haunted my family for over 15 years. This is the timeline of my disappearance, pieced together from what was found sometime between 11:30 p.m. on February 10th and 7:30 a.m. on February 11th. I vanished from my life. The next morning, my mother, Anissa, knew instantly that something was terribly wrong. I always called her before 7 a.m. to talk to my daughter, Madeline, before she left for school. That morning, my phone was silent. A family member went to my apartment to check on me. They found the door unlocked. When they stepped inside, the scene was chillingly incomplete. My clothes for the day were laid out, ready for me to wear. My bed was completely untouched. I had never gotten into it. All my personal belongings were left behind. My ID, my car keys, my credit cards, even my cigarettes. I never went anywhere without my cigarettes. The only items that were thought to be missing were my blue bathrobe, the one missing its tie, and a brown jacket. It was as if I had been plucked from my life in an instant, intending to return at any moment. The police were called. My case became an official missing persons investigation. There were no signs of a struggle, no forced entry, no evidence of foul play. It was as if I had simply walked out into the cold February night and disappeared. In the days that followed, the search was massive. Police and volunteers scoured fields and roadways. A helicopter searched from above. They followed every tip, but the tips dried up. The investigation hit dead end after dead end. My apartment complex had only one security camera, and the footage was poor. It didn't even show a clear view of my apartment door. The Fenton Police Department has been working with the FBI for years, trying to enhance that footage to identify the vehicles that passed through the parking lot that night. They've conducted forensic analysis and used canine searches. Nothing has provided any answers. The person of interest, the man in the black leather jacket, was never identified. As the months dragged on, my family hope began to fracture. When I didn't return for my daughter Madeline's birthday in April, a little more of their hope died. My brother Sam said it best. Randa cannot function without her family. She needed us, and she knew it. For me not to call, not to come back for her. They knew it meant something terrible had happened. For over 15 years, my family has lived in a special kind of hell. The 11th day of every month is a dark day. My sister Diana says she feels paralyzed on those days. My sister Nahida can't get out of bed. They carry each other's pain, and they have been falling apart, together for a decade and a half. My daughter has grown up without her mother. My case is a cold case, but it is not a closed case. Detectives are still working on it. They haven't forgotten me. So I am asking you, whoever you are, listening to my voice now, please look at my face, remember my name. I was Randa Jawhari. I was an actress, an artist, a writer, a daughter, a sister, a mother. I was here. If you know anything at all, about what happened to me on February 10th or 11th, 2009, in Fenton, Michigan, if you saw anything suspicious near my apartment on Shiawassee Avenue, or heard a story that never quite added up, please come forward. You can contact Fenton Police Detective Thomas Cole at 810-629-5311 or by email at coletfentonpolice.org. If you wish to remain anonymous, you can report information to Crime Stoppers of Flint and Genesee County at 1-800-422-5245 or on their website at crimestoppersofflint.com. There is still a reward for information. Don't let my story end here in the silence. Please help my family find me. Help them find their closure. Thank you for listening.